hey, if you wanted to know what kind of noise the eyeshadow palette makes, there you go. Hey guys, welcome back. So got another new at the drugstore video for y'all today. So this one is kind of a random hodgepodge of things. So I've got some stuff from RImmel, Milani, and Jordana. And I think that's it. So I'm gonna do like I normally do in these videos. I'm gonna run through these different products, show you some swatches, let you know my thoughts and experiences with using these products, and just give you some little mini reviews on them. So let's get to it. So let's go ahead and start with RImmel, and let's go ahead and get this one out of the way because I'm just not super duper excited about this. This is the RImmel Wonder Ombre Holographic Eyeliner, and I picked the shade 002 Galactic Green. So it's supposed to be kind of like a two-step situation. It's a holographic pencil, so step one is you line, and then step two is you transform. So I do have this on my lower lash line, and P.S. I've got all the makeup things going on today. I wanted to put as many of these things on my face so you could kind of like sort of see them. So I've got a lot of things on my face. All the makeup things are going on my face with my makeup today. Okay, so this liner, I do have it on my lower lash line. I don't know why I'm not super excited about this. So let me show you like the line, and then I'll show you like layered together. So I'll show you individually is what I'm trying to say, and then I'll show you layered together. Because at first I didn't read the instructions, and I was trying to use them separately, and I was like, what? So there they are separately, and there they are together. So I mean, it is really pretty when it's layered together. I guess what I'm not super duper excited about with this pencil is it doesn't seem as soft and nice as the other RImmel pencils that I've used, because I really like their Scandalized pencils. This one seems a little bit thicker and waxier, especially like this one seems thicker and a little bit harder, and this one seems thicker and waxier, this kind of holographic color. I don't know. I mean, it's not terrible, but I'm not going to go out and buy any more, and I'm not super duper like jumping up and down excited over it. I don't remember how much this one was. I got this at Walgreens, and I can't find my Walgreens receipt, but I think maybe $5 to $7-ish, I think. I'm not super pumped about it. Then there's a foundation, and I believe that this has sort of been reformulated, repackaged. It looks different now, and now it says breathable. I can't remember the last time I've tried the old version to really be able to compare them for you, but I've tried this one. So it says lasting finish, 25-hour breathable long wear foundation, high definition finish, medium coverage, broad spectrum SPF 20 sunscreen. I got the shade 100 Ivory. Says on the back, shake before use, lightweight skin perfecting foundation with medium coverage, breathable skin technology that moisturizes for up to 25 hours, broad spectrum SPF 20 sunscreen. So it is kind of like a, I assume this is glass, it feels like glass to me. It is a doe foot applicator kind of a thing, and it's kind of like a fat, cute looking doe foot applicator, so I think it's cute, and I think it's kind of fun. Something different, but not sanitary. So I really don't know why companies do this. It's just not ideal. I mean, I'm not mad about it. I still use it. I think it's fine. I think it, like I said, I think it's kind of fun and something different, but it's not ideal as far as sanitary, you know, application goes. So doe foot applicator, this is what 100 Ivory looks like. I actually really like this foundation. I am so pleasantly surprised by it. I just kind of picked it up to try it out thinking I probably wouldn't love it, but I actually really like it. I would say first application is kind of light to medium coverage, but then it's buildable up to medium. Finish on the skin, I would describe it as kind of a satin finish because it's not super powdery and matte, but it's definitely not luminizing and dewy looking. So I would describe it as more of a satin finish. As far as wear time, kind of depends on what my skin's doing that day, because some days my skin's really oily and I do get oilier with this. Some days it's more normal and I notice I don't start to have kind of that dry look on my face. So I really like prefer it on those normal days. So if you have normal to dry skin, I think you'd really like this foundation. If you have normal to oily, you'll probably just have to do some extra prep on your skin. But I'm super impressed with it. I think it looks beautiful on the skin. I like the way it wears. I like the way it applies. I like the way it builds on itself. it seems to kind of meld into the skin. Not as much as some things like the CC cream super melds into the skin. Not to that extent, but it doesn't sit on top of the skin. I hate when foundations sit on top of the skin. This one seems like it really does kind of become one with your skin pretty well. So I'm impressed with it. I really like it. Then there's a concealer. This is the RImmel Lasting Finish 25-Hour Breathable Concealer. And it says lightweight, medium coverage concealer. Anything on the back? Oh, that's really tiny writing. I do know that. It says long-lasting, breathable concealer with medium coverage. Helps to conceal imperfections. Cushion applicator allows for perfect blendability and touch-ups on the go. So originally I got 100 Fair from Walgreens, and then I found this color at Walmart. This is 001 Light Ivory, and I do know that these were $4.99. So it is kind of like a spongy, dealy type of an applicator on the end. So kind of like the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind, except it's not a twist up. It's kind of like you squeeze the tube sort of a situation. So really, if I were just to pick one, I think 100 Fair is a slightly better match for me because it's just lighter than my skin tone. So I like it because I can still use it under my eyes, but then also on the rest of my face as well. I just kind of wanted to compare this one and see if it would be a little bit more brightening under my eyes. And it is, but this one is much lighter, but a lot more yellow. So you can see it. It's just super duper yellowy. So I can still use it, but it's a little bit too light for me. But what I did today is I just combined them. So as far as this concealer, what's it like? It is light to medium coverage, I would say, buildable up to about medium. Not the most full coverage concealer that I've used. I do like the texture of it. Like I do feel like it looks pretty on the skin and it kind of melds into the skin nicely. Really doesn't look heavy or cakey unless you apply a lot of it. So I do like it. I think it's a good concealer. I like the price point of it. Is it going to be like my go-to favorite concealer? Probably not. Just I love Maybelline concealers. They're some of my favorites at the drugstore. But this one's really good, I think. Like if you're looking, unless you're looking for super full coverage. If you're looking for super full coverage, this wouldn't be the one. But if you're looking for something that's kind of light to medium, buildable up to medium-ish coverage, check it out because it's a good price point. And yes, breathable. I like the foundation better though. Of the two, I'm definitely more impressed with the foundation, but I don't think this is bad. They got a new eyeshadow palette. This is the Magnifies Color Edition Eye Contouring Palette. So size-wise, packaging-wise, it looks like their other Magnifies palettes, except this one is way more colorful. It does come with a little two-sided applicator, a little sponge tip on one side, and a tiny little brush on the other, which I like that tiny little brush. I like teeny tiny eyeshadow brushes for, you know, detailed work on your eyes. So that's, I think, usable. As far as what you get in here, this is a super fun, colorful palette. So if you are looking for more variety in your eyeshadows, then I think this is one to check out. I mean, there are quite a few neutrals in here too, like warm toned, bronzy sort of neutrals, but there are quite a few colors in here too. Now, texture-wise on these shadows, I mean, they swatch really beautifully. I do have some of these on my eyes today. Texture-wise, these are very similar to the other Magnifies palettes, so it's really gonna depend on what did you think about those. Because these are a powdery sort of a formula. They do kick up a lot of product in the pan, and they do cause some fallout on your eyes, but they are pigmented, they are workable, they are really pretty. It's just gonna kind of depend on, do you wanna deal with that? Do you want to mess around with, you know, slightly more powdery shadows? I think they're still workable, but you might have to tweak your application a little bit. This one right here isn't very good, but all the rest of them I think are nice. Like I have that blue over a liner on my eyes today, and I really like it. I think it's pretty. I have this one on my lids and a little bit of this one on my lids. So I think it's definitely still workable. Is it my favorite eyeshadow palette? No, but I don't totally hate it either. Milani has some really pretty and really exciting new goodies. So first off, I grabbed one of their highlighter trios. So they had this one and then one other shade. These are the Stellar Lights highlighter palettes. And this one is the color 02 Holographic Beams. So it comes with Unicorn Dreams, Make Believe, and Otherworldly. So I do have this one on my cheeks today, and then I have a little bit of the blue up on top of that. And then I have a little bit of the bluish shade on the inner corners of my eyes. So I think this is so pretty, really intensely pigmented, but honestly this surprised me because in a swatch it looks like, whoa, crazy pigmented. But when I went to use it on my face, it actually takes a little bit of building. I mean, depending on how much highlighter you want. It's not, I was expecting it to be like the Ofra highlighters where you have to be really delicate with those because they're just super pigmented. These, I feel like you can be a little bit more haphazard with them. Like you don't have to be quite as delicate because it does take a little bit of building, but they do build on themselves really nicely. This one is definitely the most intensely pigmented of the three. This one I'll probably just use as an eyeshadow because that would be too difficult to try to figure out how to use that on my face with my skin tone. But these two I'll use on my cheeks, and I do think this would be really pretty on the eyes. So yeah, I think this one's really fun. It is a creative, fun highlighter palette. It depends on what kind of highlighters are you looking for. But if you're looking for something creative, I think this is creative and fun and a nice formula. This one has a little bit more of that thicker kind of texture, moving towards like the BH Cosmetics highlighters, but not quite to that level. These, I don't know how I would describe these. Just a good formula. I like them. Light and buildable. These have gotten a lot of buzz and attention, and for good reason. These are the Milani eyeshadow palettes. This one is Bold Obsessions, and this one is Most Loved Mattes. So the packaging looks pretty similar on the two, except, you know, obviously the little top part of the pictures of the palettes changes, but everything else is pretty similar. So starting off with Bold Obsessions, I do have that swatched for you here. So this is what the packaging looks like. It looks, you know, it gets very dirty. It's that kind of a packaging. So it's pretty, but it's reflective and looks kind of dirty. So I think it's nice. It does feel nice and, you know, sturdy and good packaging, but not my favorite. Like I would have probably picked something different rather than the reflective metally look to it. But this is what the inside looks like on this one. So you do get a collection of mattes and shimmers in here. You get a collection of kind of warm tones. You've got some cool tones. You've got some grays and some blues, but you've also got some kind of like rusty colors as well. So a good variety in this palette. One thing I do notice about this packaging, and you'll have to tell me it is not a big deal whatsoever, but I just noticed when I'm pressing a brush in here, it almost feels like this plastic is a little bit thin feeling, and it kind of feels like it moves around a little bit. I don't think it's going to be an issue, so I don't even know why I'm mentioning it to you, but I just do notice like a noise that it makes when I'm using it. Why does that matter? I don't think it's going to break. I don't think it's a big deal, but that's just, hey, if you wanted to know what kind of noise the eyeshadow palette makes, there you go. So here's some swatches. This is what it looks like. So really nice. Really the only ones that don't swatch super well are this brown shade that's on the bottom left side of the palette, and this is in the bottom middle of the palette. They're still nice, but they take a little bit of building. But I mean, look at those. Super duper pigmented. That black is really nice and pigmented. The mattes are very blendable, easy to work with. They blend into themselves really nicely, and the shimmers are super nice and pigmented. Very nice formula on these shadows. Really my only negative is these are $15, and I do think that the quality stands up to that price point, but I think it's just one of those things I'm like, ooh, I really like it. I think it's awesome quality, but I would be even more excited about it if it were $10 because it's drugstore, and that's what excites me about drugstore is drugstore prices. But I realize, you know, some of the prices are going up, and I guess that's just kind of part of the deal, but I would love this even more if it were a lower price point. That's what I'm trying to say. I think it's really nice quality. I think it does stand up to the price point, but I would love it even more if it were a lower price point. And the highlighter palette, I think, was around $11 at Walmart. So this was $15 at Walmart, but I think it's like $20 on the Milani website. And then in the Most Loved Mattes palette, you get a really nice collection of matte shadows, as the name implies. So there are some kind of like orangey, rusty sort of shades, but then there is a row of nice cool tone, kind of purpley kind of colors too, and then just very neutral colors on this side. So I like that they kind of switched it up and gave you different sort of tones in here. It's not an all warm tone palette. It's nice that it's a nice collection of colors in here, but all matte. This palette is just so good. And I feel like this is one that can just live on your vanity because It's awesome by itself. If you just like matte eye looks, it's great by itself because the quality is so nice, but it's also a great companion palette if you have a lot of, you know, ColourPop single shadows or just palettes with a lot of shimmery shades in it. Just anything that has that shimmery look to it that you need some mattes to pair it with, this can live on your vanity and be that go-to palette for you. So like I mentioned before, the mattes are really, really nice and buttery, and every single shade in this palette swatches really, really well. It's great quality. So really, like I said, the only negative to it is that I would love it even more if it were a little bit less expensive. And I've got just a couple new products to show you from Jordana. So first off, these little guys. These are the Jordana Triple Play All Over Color. And I got the shade 01 Nude Peach and also the shade 02 Petal Pink. And it says color in 30 seconds. So basically this is supposed to be, you know, you can use it wherever. It says apply to cheeks, lips, and eyes for a healthy touch of color. So yeah, I tried to go with the two kind of neutrally shades because I thought, you know, this sort of product, I want it to be pretty neutral to be able to just use it wherever. I think it's more versatile that way. So here they are swatched. I really like that one, the Nude Peach. This one, I was expecting it to be a little bit more neutral based on the packaging, but it's really more of a bright pink. So that one, I'm not so much in love with it just because of the color, but I do really like the peach one. So I do have this on my lips today and also on my cheeks, but on my lips I was feeling a little bit creative. So I used some of the blue highlighter just on the very middle of my lips just to, I don't know, add a little bit of fun and somehow try to tie together all of the makeup things going on my face. So it's on my lips, but it's a little bit tweaked looking. So these are not my favorite type of products, these kind of, you know, stick cream products that can be used wherever on your face, because I find that it's difficult to create a formula that works everywhere. Typically, if it works well on the cheeks, things get weird on the lips. So I prefer it to maybe start with more of a formulation that works on the lips better, and then I can just use it on my cheeks. So a lot of times I'll even use like a regular lipstick on my cheeks in the car, like, you know, just throughout the day as a little touch up. So long story short, these are not my favorite kinds of products in general, but I feel like this one is a better formulation in this realm, because this one, like I have this one on my lips, I've worn it several times on my lips, and it actually doesn't get that weird. Like, it's pretty comfortable, and a lot of times, you know, with other ones in this sort of formula or this sort of product, get silicone-y and separated and weird. This one really doesn't do it very much, so I like it. It's a cream product, so it is a little bit, you know, for me, more high maintenance to apply it on my cheeks. I use a small stipple brush. So in the realm of these sorts of products, I like this one. Is this my favorite type of product to use? No, but I like that it's a low price point, and especially this one, I think this is a product that could live in your purse and serve multiple purposes pretty well. And these little guys are so pretty. I've already mentioned these in Friday favorites, but I wanted to go ahead and throw them in this video. So all the new at the drugstore stuff is in here together. So these are the Jordana Cosmic Glow Holographic Lip Glosses, and I got two different shades that are not that far off from each other, but still justifiable, I would say, because they are a little bit different. So I got the shade 03 Crystalized Pink and 05 Brilliant Fuchsia. So let me see if I can line these up correctly. There we go, yes. Crystalized Pink on this side, that's the lighter one. And the deeper one is, I already forgot in 2 seconds. What was that? Brilliant Fuchsia. So these are just really fun, glittery, holographic lip glosses. I mean, so, you know, these are not gonna be for everybody. A lot of people will hate these, but I think they're a lot of fun. I think they're duochromy and they catch the light. They kind of have like an 80s fun vibe to them. I think the glittery, you know, finish to them is really fun and happy. It's more holographic metallic-y looking than super duper shimmery. They smell good. They have like a vanilla dessert sort of a smell to them, so I love the scent of them. I think they're cute. I think they were retail price for around $5. I don't think they were on sale when I bought them. So I would love them even more if they were like $3, but I still don't think $5 is bad at all because I really, really like them. And then lastly, I have a L'Oreal product to throw in here. I think this is new, but at least it's new to me. I heard about this from two of my friends, April from Wanna Makeup and Julie from Julie Dawn Olson. I will link both of them down below. They both spoke about this bronzer, used it in videos. It looked amazing, so I had to go grab it. This is the L'Oreal True Match Lumi Bronze It Sun-Kissed Bronzer for Face and Body. And I got the shade 01 Light. So I do have this on today to kind of bronze up my face. And oh my goodness, I love this. This is so pretty. First off, it's a big old bronzer, so you can use it on your face and body. So they give you enough product to be able to use it everywhere. And this is such a nice texture. It's a really nice buttery sort of texture to it. It's not like, it doesn't kick up hardly any product whatsoever in the pan, so it's not overly soft, but it's blendable. It's not patchy. I love this color. It's kind of a very neutral toned bronzer, but it has a slight like sheen to it. So it kind of reminds me of like NARS Laguna, which is one of my favorite bronzers that just kind of goes and works for multiple things. I still use it for kind of shaping up the face, but also giving color. I just love the tone of this, and I love the slight sheen to it. I love the formula of it. Really like the packaging. It's awesome. I love it. Highly recommend this. They were totally dead on, as always. This is awesome. It's a great bronzer. All right, guys, so that wraps up this random what's new at the drugstore video. So I hope that you really enjoyed it. I hope it was helpful for you. Please do a thumbs up if it was, and let me know down below what goodies you've been picking up in the drugstore lately, and what do you think about those products. I love hearing your thoughts and opinions. Ask me any questions that you have. I'm happy to answer those. Please subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.